Hey there, remember this? It's an 8-inch floppy. Now, I showed this along with some other 8-inch floppies a few weeks back in one of my videos. I believe it was the State of the Station #2 video. And I was discussing how I made some progress on the ES9000 with rescuing the all-important microcode off of the processor console PC. So that's all nice and safe. However, with another mainframe of mine, an IBM 4331 from the late 70s basically, I still have to make sure I get all that microcode archived, because just like the ES9000, the 4331, if it doesn't have its microcode, it's brain dead. And on the 4331, the microcode is indeed contained on 8-inch floppies. So that's a project I need to do. Now, I had singled out specifically a disk, this one. Why this particular disk is going to be a pain in the neck to image. And one person managed to figure it out, or at least told me through email. He said, well, gee, that looks like a first-generation floppy. And indeed, it is. If you look at the indexing hole there, it's not in the normal spot for an 8-inch floppy. That's because, yes, this is indeed an original first-generation 8-inch called a Minnow. Now, the Minnow was developed in the very early 70s by IBM, 1971, I believe, and basically, it was for distributing microcode. And the drive, the actual floppy drive, is called a 23FD. Now, this particular one, this disk here that I have, is for a 3830 storage control unit. Now, on the 4331, my specific 4331, I don't believe it has the internal controllers for disks like the 3370. Instead, it uses a string of 3350 disks, or DASDs as IBM likes to call them, and those need a control unit, an external control unit. That is the 3830. The 3830 is a very large machine. It's about the size of the 4331, basically a big blue box, and very complex, very complex. It was used for a lot of 370s back in the day. It could control 3330s, 3340s, 3344s, 3350s, and I think it could even do some of the drums, the 2305 and such like that, because there were still a few drums kicking around. They were used for swapping and such like that. Anyway, my 4331 does indeed have a 3830 control unit, and it does work. The machine works. It does boot. This contains the microcode for its brain, because like the 4331, if you don't have microcode, it's brain dead. Now, the 4331 disk, microcode disk, yes, bad spot, can't read. I mentioned that in the other video. And I have to do this song and dance to skip over the bad spot. And okay, fine, all well and good, although I'd really like to redo the floppy, write another floppy. It's just a standard format, so I don't have to do that. But with this 3830 and this funniness that's going on with this weird old 80K format, I believe it's 80K, I don't have a trick like that. The 3830 works. This disk does not have a bad spot, as of today anyway. It could go bad any minute now, I suppose. However, if this disk goes bad, I'm in real trouble. So this really needs to be archived. I need to image this entire disk. That's going to be a problem. The 23FD drive, the floppy that is inside of the 3830, rather, it certainly works. It's read only, I should say. Now, That's one problem with duplicating this disk. I can't duplicate this particular diskette here. I don't have a drive that can write 23 FDs, or 23 FD that can write, maybe I should really say. IBM did have such a machine. They called them macros, and they were pretty much IBM internal, basically at the factory. Write out your microcode, send it along with the machine. They didn't want customers writing their own microcode. Microcode was very much a controlled thing back then. So yes, I don't have a macro. I don't know of anyone that does have a macro drive. So yeah, hey, if any of you old third-party guys have a macro drive, I'd certainly like to hear from you. Now, you know, there comes maybe an option, well, hey, can I take a 8-inch drive and perhaps modify it? You know, a standard shoe guard from the 70s and modify it. Maybe. The format is wildly different. I don't know if there's going to need to be some mechanical changes in the to be made to a standard drive to get it to write one of these old Minnow 23FD type diskettes. I don't know. I need to explore that. I do have some documentation. Here's some of it. The big blue binders for the 3830. I have a partial set, mostly complete, I think. And it does have a little bit about the 23FD, and one short-term solution, which may be the long-term solution, is to basically capture the bit stream coming off of the drive. Just take the entire thing up. Just slurp it all up. And, well, basically make a little device that could possibly just recreate that. If this disk goes bad, I can plug in maybe something powered by a Raspberry Pi or Arduino or something like that that just shoots out that bit stream that I captured at some point, or that I will capture at some point, maybe I should say. That might be an option. That might be the solution if I cannot find a way to write these disks. So something to explore. So yeah, I guess like most videos, I'm going to be begging for information. Yeah, if any of you old IBM old timers, I should say, have experience with the 23 FDs, these old Minnow and perhaps macro drives, I'd like to hear from you. If you're an old third party support guy from the 70s, how did you guys deal with these things? Or did you just you dealt with whatever you had? And if you had a 3830 that had a bum disk, were you out of luck? How did you guys write these things? If anyone has a macro drive, I'd certainly like to hear from you. So yeah, it's I'm going to need help here. The standard floppies for the 4331, not going to be a problem. Going to go up to a friend's house. He does have the ability to archive 8-inch floppies. We'll image them, and that'll be all good, all well and good. But these, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Don't know how I'm going to do it. So, yeah, the problems with software preservation. Weird formats. I'm kind of assuming that, actually, I don't know of any other collectors out there that have 3830s. I know there is one in a rusty storage locker way out in California, I believe, which really needs to be rescued. But let's face it, from what I've heard, that's not the answer. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a problem that needs to be dealt with. All right. Well, this is going to be an issue. This guy here. Actually, I also have another Minnow floppy that needs to be dumped, and that is here the 3350 diagnostics, because the 3830 could run a bunch of diagnostics on itself and also on whatever was attached to it. So yes, it would be really nice The 3350s, most of them work, but it'd be really nice to get this this floppy archived as well. So, all right, back in the envelopes with you guys here. Got to treat these things well. We don't want any of that oxide flaking off or whatever. So there we go. All right, well, I hope you like this video. Leave a like and maybe subscribe and perhaps watch some older videos for more old, obsolete, ancient IBM mainframe stuff. And yes, I promise I will start branching out from IBM. I have a lot of control data which I need to start making videos of and eventually start working on as well. I've got a lot of projects. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, share it around. All right, talk to you later. Bye now.